This is an alert. Have you seen this man? This man, Naheed Nenshi, the Alberta NDP leader. The reason why I'm putting out an all-points bulletin for Mr. Nenshi is that we need to know, yes or no, does he support an Alberta provincial carbon tax? We're asking this because it's super important, because the last time around, then Alberta NDP Premier Rachel Notley surprised us all with one, and it cost Albertans more than $1 billion before the thing was finally scrapped in 2019. Every time a journalist in Alberta has tried to nail down Nenshi on a yes or no on an Alberta carbon tax, the guy just evaporates into a cloud of orange smoke and disappears. So, this is to help people, help journalists, help citizens get an answer to Mr. Nenshi, Alberta NDP leader. Are you for or against a provincial carbon tax in Alberta? So here's the backstory. This is why this is becoming more urgent. So, you know the federal NDP leader, Jagmeet Singh? Yeah, until yesterday, he was a super fan of the federal carbon tax. He supported Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government and his favorite tax, the carbon tax. But that all changed a few days ago. The NDP finally blinked, and it sounds like they're going back to their core stance on the carbon tax, which is against it. So after they had their caucus retreat, they do this before every session of the House of Commons starts in the fall. After they had their caucus retreat in Montreal, Mr. Singh came out and spoke to reporters, and I'm paraphrasing. He said something along the lines of, perhaps it's time to stop putting the burden of the carbon tax onto the backs of working people. Ding, ding, ding. That's really important because the longtime and late federal leader of the NDP, Jack Layton, back in 2008, said very similar things. He was against the carbon tax. I remember, because I remember booking him for talk shows back then, and he said this stuff out loud, okay? Paraphrasing again, Mr. Layton thought that it was wrong to punish people with the carbon tax, that it would particularly affect lower income, normal working people, and that it was especially wrong, because Canada is a big cold country, to punish people with a carbon tax on their home heating bills. Okay? So while it might sound, strange to have now the federal NDP leader reversing course, finally, thank you, on the carbon tax, they're actually just coming all the way back around to their original statement on this stuff. So that's very good news. This is what happens, though, in politics. Okay? It's kind of like a soap opera. Nothing happens until everything happens. So after Mr. Singh said that then caused an earthquake, an orange earthquake out, metaphorically, on the west coast of BC. The epicenter, the origin of the carbon tax. NDP leader in British Columbia and Premier David Eby said out loud with his face that if the federal carbon tax goes, meaning the Trudeau carbon tax is gone and there's no more so-called backstop, that he would get rid of the provincial carbon tax in BC. Yeah, they are facing an election very soon. Funny you should ask that. But hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. Because if politicians do the right thing and scrap carbon taxes in Canada, it's going to save taxpayers, entrepreneurs, farmers, truckers, billions of dollars. Billions with a B. So, back here to Alberta. Albertans know that the carbon tax costs them about $13 extra every time they fill up a minivan. Albertans know that the carbon tax costs them about $20 extra every time they fill up their pickup truck. Albertans know that this coming winter, the carbon tax is going to cost them more than $400 extra just to heat their home with natural gas. And before your sister-in-law tries to tell you magically that you get more back than you pay in the carbon tax, Albertans know that that defies common sense. You cannot give the government a $20 bill and expect to get a $50 back from them at no cost to you. So this is again why it's super important to find out what the current Alberta NDP leader thinks about a provincial carbon tax. Because what if in the future that federal carbon tax is gone? Just like Premier Eby was envisioning. If the federal carbon tax is gone, what happens here in Alberta? Because Albertans have had a surprise carbon tax sprung on them before. Former Alberta NDP Premier Rachel Notley surprised everybody with her carbon tax. here in Alberta, provincially. It cost taxpayers more than $1 billion before the thing was finally scrapped in 2019. So once again, we need to know, Mr. Nenshi, tell us, tell taxpayers, tell journalists, are you for or against a provincial carbon tax in Alberta? Yes or no?